Hey everyone, it's Ruthie here with you tonight. And if you were here with me last week, welcome back. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, welcome to Ruthie Gage's YouTube channel. I am here most every week just to hopefully add some value to your life because that's what I love to do. And, maybe give you a few aha moments. Definitely share some things that inspire me. And I love sharing stuff I learn. I just do. I feel like if someone bless you and you don't share it, it's like not sharing a gift. And it's just kind of like hiding something. When you hear good news, you want to share good news. So I'm excited about that. And I want to welcome you and thank you for just listening in, and hopefully this will add a little value to your life. I have been sharing on the notes from John C. Maxwell's book tour, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Actually is the book I'm teaching from. I had already been reading it, and he came in town to a conference, and this stuff just blew me away and set my hair on fire. So if it doesn't set you on fire, it doesn't mean your wood's wet. It just means that some of us just love growth, personal growth so much. And actually, I took so many notes that my hand cramped for days afterwards. So I'm just going to jump right in. Last week, we started on, covering the different laws of growth. Now, there's 15 of them. For the month of February, I definitely wanted to get to as many as possible. But if you have not been following John C. Maxwell or reading his books or ordering his books, all I can say, if you want to change your life, do it now, because it's incredible. Last week, the first law was the law of intentionality. That is a mouthful. I was just going to recap, but not spend a lot of time, because I try not to take too much time on these with you, 20 to 30 minutes, something like that. But just to recap from last week, if you didn't see last week's, or you happen to miss it, we talked about the law of intentionality. Now, basically what this is about is you just don't grow by accident. We naturally grow up and we naturally grow old. That you don't have to take a class on. It just happens. And actually, John C. Maxwell stated, pretty much the only thing that is naturally organic that you don't have to have a lesson in is death. We're leading up to that every day. So that's why we say you've got to live in the moment with intention so you don't miss a moment of it, So the law of intentionality, growth doesn't just happen. It just doesn't. And you have to be intentional in the areas of your life for them to grow, thrive, and prosper. If they're being ignored, chances are that's not going to happen. So just remember, whatever you want to grow, thrive, and prosper in any area of your life, you have to be intentional every day working toward that. We covered a little bit about the 5 growth gaps, and I'm just going to run through them. Once again, refer to my last week's YouTube on this training. Be more in depth. There's the growth of the assumption growth. There's the knowledge growth, the time gap growth, the mistake or the failing forward, and there's the inspirational. And these are actually the 5 growth gaps. So these are the different growth gaps. Great information on that. Once again, look back at that YouTube from last week. I love this point, and I wasn't sure if I kind of hit home on this. The greatest gap is between the knowing and the doing, which is true. I mean, you can sit in a class and take notes all day long, but if you don't apply any of it, I think I mentioned something about I could sit in an algebra class and I could take notes, but if I don't apply it and practice it and learn it and focus on getting better at it, I will be clueless at the end of the day. So keep that in mind. And we also touched on the difference between winners and whiners. Now, when he talked about this, I thought it was so true, because I work with people all the time and I can spot it in a second if someone's a winner or a whiner. Winners do to feel better. I mean, they are action takers. They are risk takers. They get out there. They just are doing stuff, and it makes them feel better. Whiners, they have to feel better first. You make them feel better. You encourage them. You constantly just, you're prodding. I mean, they have to, they're the ones that pretty much they have to feel better or nothing happens. So that's how you can tell the difference. And when you're working with people, whether it's online or in your business, if you're in an environment where there are people, you can spot them, you can pick them out. So, that will help you know where to put your time, who to invest your time with, and who to work with. And, just knowing those things, very, very helpful, especially when you're in business. So moving on to tonight's number 2 law of the 15 invaluable laws of growth. Number 2 is the law of awareness. You have to be aware not only of your surroundings, but like, for instance, in your body. You have to have body awareness to understand, say, fitness, to understand, what makes something move or how to properly do a movement or form technique. You have to be aware of what you're doing. Otherwise, it causes more harm than good. To work a muscle, if you're not engaging that muscle and you're not aware of where you work, you'll work other things around that, and you will not only will you not get results, but you can actually harm yourself, doing an exercise or do a movement when it needs to be producing positive results. So instead of positive results, because you have no awareness of what you're doing, form, technique, or otherwise, then you're not going to get the results, or you could harm yourself. The law of awareness is same thing with your personal life, with your business life. You must know yourself to grow yourself. So that's why they say, goals are really, really good. But if you want to get to the goals, you have to have the growth. If you are just shooting for a goal and there is no growth, you may hit it and you may not. And if you do accomplish that goal, chances are you're not going to keep that. You're going to fall back. Everything's going to fall apart. It literally is like building a house with no foundation. Literally, no foundation. I mean, as soon as there's a storm, that sucker is going to wash away or it's going to fall. I mean, it's going to crumble. So, the law of awareness is you must know yourself to grow yourself. So growth needs to precede accomplishing your goals. So whatever your goals are, make sure you're growing. So when you get there, not only do you reach that goal, but you surpass it and you keep moving further. Questions to ask yourself with this law of awareness. Number 1, if you have pen and paper, I'd write this stuff down, because I would not have remembered all this stuff had I not taken good notes. And they say smart people take notes. So I want to be a smart people. I hope you do too. So take notes. Once again, it goes back to that law of awareness, that law of intentionality. If you're focused on it, once you've learned it, now you've written it down, you can go apply it. The first question, do you like what you're doing? Do you like what you're doing now? I always say that, if you love what you're doing, you really never work a day in your life, because what you do does not feel like work. That is what most people in life strive for. And I hope you're focused on that, because if you're not, what happens is that law of more is more of a law of default. They say people that are not moving forward will always return to their past. So you have to be growing in that pushes you or propels you forward. What happens if you're not growing? You're always going to return to your past. You always will default to your past. So write that question down. Do you like what you're doing now? You should follow your passion trail. Basically, you need to know, and you may have to do some soul searching. You may have to do some gut checks. You may need to have some quiet time and stop and really think about this, because a lot of times we're going so fast through life, we need to stop to think about it. So follow your passion trail. What things get you excited? What things bring you joy and bliss? What things could you sit, what's something you could sit and talk about all the time, and you absolutely, it just lights your hair on fire. It just fires you up. You love it. I mean, if you had it to do every single day when you woke up, if that was what you, I mean, it made you jump out of bed in the morning. That's how you know what your passion is. Okay, so we got to put this together with also your potential, and we'll get to that. So, you know, your first question is, you know, you have to know you have to know yourself to grow yourself, but do you like what you're doing? And to follow your passion trail. Now, the next point is, it's not work, and I think I touched on that. It's not work unless you would rather be doing something else. So keep that in mind. If you are, if you're doing a task or a job and all you're thinking about is something else you'd rather be doing, what you're doing because your heart is not in it, I always say lead with your heart, or whatever you do, do it with all your heart. If your heart is not in it, it's going to feel like work. It's going to be emotionally and mentally taxing every single day. For years, I worked in a dental office for years. You know, it was a path that was easy for me to get into, because, you know, the school was like a year. You know, you graduate with a diploma, you can get out there, start working, and it was great. But I did it for the wrong reasons. I went into this particular trade because it was a fast path, but it wasn't my passion path. You know, I followed that trail just because I could get in and out and get it done. But I never put any thought. I didn't know to. You know, I got in a moment of desperation. I needed a career. I needed something, you know, start, you know, making a decent paycheck. And at the time, that's what was available. So there was no passion in it. I got up every day for years. I did it on and off. I would go back and forth. I would switch jobs. I just wasn't happy in it. It wasn't my passion. It was a great job. It was a great opportunity. I loved the people I worked with, and I loved feeling like I was contributing to someone's life, working in dentistry, working in orthodontics. I mean, there were a lot of great things about it. There were moments I liked, but it wasn't my passion, and so it wasn't effortless. It was painstaking some days, and I just wasn't built for it. So it wasn't my best. I wasn't 100%. Even when I was trying to give them 100%, I didn't really ever reach potential I felt like I should in that field, because my heart wasn't in it. And so, you know, you do have to follow your passion trail, but you got to know what it is. And, you know, if you love what you're doing, it will not feel like work, and you will find, like what I do, I love so much. I find myself, you know, I could, if I did not watch, I would be like hours and hours and hours nonstop doing it. And the clock and the time would pass and I wouldn't realize it, because it involves me connecting with people. It involves me building relationships. It involves me helping people and adding value. And I so love that it's effortless. It literally makes me jump out of bed in the morning. And so, you know, that's the thing. That's what you want to find in that law of awareness. You got to know you. You got to know your passion. You got to follow that trail. The next point is, most people, they're actually, this is the words of John C. Maxwell, not mine. And he can say it with just such eloquence. But he says, most people are dead. They just haven't made it official, you know? And think of that job that you go to, or that thing that you do every day, and it is not your passion. There's something dead inside. You feel disconnected to it. It's just something you have to do, and something that, instead of something you want to do, it doesn't bring you joy. It doesn't give you satisfaction. It doesn't give you this sense of, you know, gratification. And because of that, people see it, they know it, they can pick up on it, and it just doesn't make you feel great about yourself. And everybody wants to feel good about themselves. So, you know, it's like, you know, I refer to it as like the Walking Dead. We've all been there. Come on, you know, think about it. We've been there, you know, just going day in, day out, clocking in, you know, trading hours for dollars. And, if it's something you want to do, it doesn't feel like that. You don't feel like The Walking Dead, but I've done it. I've traded hours for dollars, and I felt like The Walking Dead. And, when you look at those, that zombie-like, reflection, when you see those, even on the show The Walking Dead, when you see that, you were like, yeah, I've seen myself look like that. It's not a pretty sight. So, thing of it is, that's what it feels like for most people. John C. Maxwell hit it, straight on, the nail on the head when he said that most people just accept their life instead of lead their life. And I mean, it was just like, bells and whistles going off, because it's true, and we've all been there. Most people look at probably 90%, probably 95%, most everyone ask them, do you just accept your life how it is, or are you leading it? Do you have a plan? Are you doing every day what you love, what makes you passionate, that, you just can't wait to get up and do day after day? Then you're just accepting your life if you're not changing it, if you're not doing something about it. Now, if you love it, keep doing it, because people are going to see it and you're going to affect people's lives. You're going to impact their life. But if your heart isn't in it, then there'll be days, probably many days, you feel like that Walking Dead. And that's how oh my gosh, I'm just accepting this instead of leading my life toward my purpose. That's the kind of life I want. I want to wake up every day leading my life toward my purpose, because that is a life that's thriving, not just surviving. So, I love, actually made me think of the scripture reference about vision and dream, where it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, he is blessed and happy. I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to live blessed and happy. That's what I like. But to have that, you have to have vision, and you have to have a personal dream for yourself. So that is what the law of awareness is about, is knowing you, finding your passion, matching your passion up with your dream, and then taking the potential that you have in that. Make sure it's something that is your strength area, because if it's not a strength that you have, then you might be frustrated. And so, there's a lot of things we're passionate about. Oh my gosh, I'm passionate about playing a plethora of musical instruments, but it doesn't mean that even if I take lessons, I'll ever be amazing at it, because it's not a strength maybe of mine. It's something I love. I love how John C. Maxwell referred to, this will give you a visual picture, okay? So we're all watching American Idol right now. Okay, how many of those people audition, and they're very passionate about their audition? I mean, so much we sit there and we can't help but snicker, because we're like, where were these people's friends that told them they could sing? And they sing with so much passion. I mean, their heart and soul in it. And I look at the judges, and they're just fighting either tears of laughter back, or they're just hurting, because they're like, oh my gosh, who told them? I mean, the people come in going, my mama said I could sing, my best friend said I could sing, I should try out for American Idol. And I'm thinking, were they really a friend if they told you you can sing, But here's the thing, what they recognize is your passion about it, not your potential. And so make sure when you're looking for, you're in that law of awareness, and you're like, okay, I need to ask myself these questions. First of all, do I like what I'm doing now? If not, how do I follow my passion trail? Sit down and make a list of the things that give you joy and bliss. And you know what? They say, if you find your passion and figure out how to make a paycheck at it, oh my gosh, you are living your dream. And that's bottom line, what it's all about. John C. Maxwell says, I'm a workaholic, not a workaholic, because, I could work all day, nonstop, from sun out to sundown. Not that I will, because we have to have balance in our life to a certain extent, and you have to give certain amount of attention to different areas of your life, but literally when I am in the zone and I am working with people and I'm so excited and I'm helping them and I see them achieving their goals and their dreams and their results, and I mean, we're just like one mind, and it is so exciting. That's when I'm a workaholic, because I'm telling you what, I'm frolicking here and there, and it is so much fun, and we're having a good time. There's no workaholic in that at all. But the thing of it is that's how you know you're in your game. And so, and you got game. So anyway, with that law of awareness, I'm going to touch on a couple other things, and I'm going to leave you tonight. The other thing is, you know, you got to sit down and, like I said, you got to do some soul searching and take pen to paper and say, what is it I'd like to do? You know, remember, take that passion, and just like that American Idol auditioner, just because you're passionate about singing, if it's not your potential and a strength, don't go there, okay? Find out what your strengths are and write those down. And then in those strengths, which one of those are you the most passionate about? Now, you marry that together and you've got your purpose right there. You know, he says there has to be a relationship between passion and potential. You know, you get someone who's passionate about singing and they have this beautiful gift and it's just natural, and you know, I mean, you see the lights of the judge's eyes and their jaws drop and they're going, oh my gosh, that was just a moment of magic. You're going to give someone a moment of magic, and the way you do that is you find your passion and you marry it with your potential, and then you go in that direction and you find out a way to make that passion your paycheck. You will live every day feeling like a workaholic, and you will never work another day in your life. That's the law of awareness. It's about finding your joy. It's about finding your bliss. It's about knowing you, and you have to know you before anybody else can. If you're still trying to figure that out, that's why you're frustrated. If you know that, people are going to identify that, and they're going to follow you, and they're going to follow your trail, because you will be successful, and success leaves clues. So, you know, kind of wrapping this up, a couple other points. You got to think about what you're good at. Find your gifts, find your strengths, and where you're passionate, and make sure that all lines up. If you have to draw circles and connect the dots or whatever, that's what you need to do. They say to work in your strengths when it comes to your passion. Only work in your weaknesses when it comes to choices. So if you feel like that your bad attitude is just ruining your day and everyone around you, you got to work on your weakness, which is focus on your attitude. Focus on being grateful. Focus on, you know, having a gratitude journal every day, or finding something in the day that you're thankful for. That's where you start there to work on your weaknesses. That has to do with choices in life. If something's not going right, you need to focus on your weakness to grow and to be better. But when it comes to finding your dreams and your goals and your purpose, you need to focus on your strength and your passion with that. The last point, do you know people who are doing now what you want to do, and they're successful at it, and they do a beautiful job at it, and you've been watching them, you've been following them, and you're awestruck with them, and they're humble, and they're genuine, and they're approachable, and if you reached out to them and said, hey, I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee, I just want to pick your brain, I think you're incredible, I think you're amazing, you know, I just want to learn from you, because one day I would love to do what you do and find a way to live my life the way you do it, affecting people's lives, impacting people's lives, making our own lives better. You need to find those people and surround yourself with those people. It needs to be someone who's bigger and better in what you want to do. They have to be a step ahead. Because, you know, that success leaves clues. You got to be able to follow success. That means that they're ahead of you. So find someone who is doing better. They're more accomplished. They're more knowledgeable. They're better skilled. And be around those people. Find where they go. Follow them. Be around their influence, because we do become just like the 5 people that are in our inner circle. So look at your inner circle. and look at those people's lives. Do you want your life to be in the same place theirs are? Do you want your life to emulate theirs? Do you want your station in life to be where theirs is at? Because if the answer is yes, you've got your influence, and you will never rise above that. So make sure it's good, and make sure it keeps you reaching higher, and make sure that they challenge you, and make sure they can do things that you can't do yet. Because if you're stretching and you're working toward that, guess what? You will reach that potential, that level of potential. If they are at your level or below, you will stay there and you will stay stuck. I don't make the rules, I just follow them, okay? And that is why I'm following this man, because he is so amazing. You need to look up his books. You need to Google. You need to go on Amazon, whatever. I'm just a faithful follower. His trainings, teachings, and books have changed my life. It's changed the direction of my life. And if I can say anything to help you and change yours, that adds more joy to my life, because it makes me feel like I can pay something forward and I can give back. I can't find something good and be inspired and not give it out. You know, that's like buying a gift. Like I said, it's like holding on to it. It's like never unwrapping it. And I want to not only give that gift to you, but I want you to unwrap this gift, and I want you to know that, you know what, there's so much more out there. And if I can be a part of that journey and a little piece of you having your aha moment and it changing your life, I tell you what, that's part of my vision, that's part of my dream, and that's part of my bliss. So, you know, I will end there with that. I hope this law of awareness made you aware of some things tonight. I hope that it gave you some aha moments. I hope you took good notes, because I will tell you that, you know, I think it says we have to, it's more than 7 times we have to hear something for it to stick. But, you know, even if I hear it over and over and over, if I hadn't written it down and gone back to refer to it and actually apply it to my life, it kind of just goes away. And I hope you can use these. I hope that you will comment underneath this video, and if it helped you, or you had an aha moment, or it changed something, or it woke something up, you know, I hope it just changed, you know, and gave you a better day, or made you feel better. But whatever it did, I hope you comment underneath this video. But most of all, I hope you come back next week. It just went off. Just cut me off.